Kia ora, a real change in the weather as we head through the first few days this week. High pressure over the weekend, it's been moved away, and we've got some much more active weather feeding back in across New Zealand, especially across the south, and we have a plethora of strong wind warnings and heavy rain warnings as we go through the rest of Monday and through towards that first part of Tuesday as well. You can see on these satellite charts a lot of activity already pushing on towards that western coast, these red crosses, the lightning marks, and also a fair bit of heavy rainfall feeding towards parts of Fiordland and Westland. And we're going to find that wet weather feeding on towards the rest of the island as well. Up north, things generally are looking fairly dry and decent spells of sunshine up towards the Bay of Plenty this afternoon. But down south, it's this heavy rainfall feeding in towards parts of Westland and Fiordland, pushing up towards Southland, even Dunedin. We're going to find some heavy rainfall for you, and you can see it fields across in towards the likes of Canterbury as well. And we are going to find some strengthening winds, particularly through parts of the Canterbury High Country, up in towards Marlborough, and even across the Cook Strait towards Wellington as well. Some stronger northwesterlies to watch out for as well. So because of that, we have got plenty of severe weather warnings. Now, these are the heavy rain warnings. You can see the heaviest rain down on that western coast could find as much as 260 millimetres of rainfall up about the ranges of Westland as we head through the night time tonight in towards the early hours of Tuesday morning. But we've also got heavy rain warnings in place for parts of Southland and Clutha and Dunedin. Now, rainfall amounts here, 60 to 90 millimetres of rainfall again through the night time in towards that first part of Tuesday. May well cause some localised flooding, so definitely worth keeping an eye on that. And we'll find that rainfall spreading up in towards parts of Canterbury as we head on in towards Tuesday. Like I say, though, it's not just the heavy rainfall. We've also got some strengthening winds to watch out for. Northwesterlies through parts of the Canterbury High Country and Marlborough and Wellington as we go through Monday night in towards Tuesday, and then the winds turning southerly and really strengthening around the Canterbury and Otago coast as we go through towards Tuesday and even in towards Wednesday. The strongest winds out towards, like I say, Banks Peninsula, where we could find gusts 120 kilometres an hour and the winds reaching severe gale force. So a really windy, really wet few days to come across the South Island, much more settled on the North Island, but even up here we have got the warning out for winds in Wellington and a watch as well for some heavy rainfall through the Taurua Ranges. So there's plenty happening as we head through the rest of Monday and through towards that first part of Tuesday. As we head in towards Tuesday, we've got this first band of rain moving across the North Island. Could be one or two rumbles of thunder and some flashes of lightning with that. And down south, we'll find this area of low pressure off the eastern coast. Now, this will bring with it some strengthening winds and feed that rainfall up the South Island as well. But we will find the strongest winds and the wettest weather on this eastern coast as we head through towards Tuesday. Out on this western side, things generally look a lot better and brighter. Some decent spells of sunshine through here once any early showers clear away. But do keep an eye on the forecast. We have got those severe weather watches and warnings in place. So let's start things off by taking a look up in the far northern parts of New Zealand. We start off just about dry through parts of Northland and the Bay of Plenty, but you can see as we head through towards the end of the morning time, we'll start to find this rain pushing across, like I say, Taranaki, up in towards Waitomo and Waikato, and then through the afternoon it continues to feed across those northern and eastern parts of the North Island. So we have got some wetter weather to watch out for as we head through the afternoon. It clears away again through towards the evening time. But like I say, could well find some rumbles of thunder with that as well, especially for down towards, like I say, Taranaki through the morning time. Through the afternoon, still a few showers to watch out for. Cooler winds as well, cooler southwesterlies as we head through towards the end of the day. But we have got that spell of rain to watch out for. Down towards the likes of, say, Wellington, we start off at wet with some fairly heavy rainfall. Stronger winds as well for us to start the day. Again, those gusts perhaps reaching 120 kilometres an hour in the most exposed areas. You can see as we head through towards lunchtime, the band of rain is starting to pull away towards the north, away from the likes of, say, Palmerston North. And it is an improving story for the afternoon as that rain continues to pull away. Some patchy rain out towards this eastern side for the likes of, say, Hawke's Bay and Gisborne. Still with perhaps one or two sharper falls to watch out for. Generally a more patchy affair on that eastern coast, and we'll find out towards the west. Fairly strong southerlies back with us in Wellington as we head towards the end of the day and around that southern coast of Wairarapa as well. And that's going to make it feel fairly cool as well. Overnight temperatures back down to around about 11 degrees Celsius for the likes of, say, Wellington, but even perhaps down towards single figures through some of those more inland parts of the central high country. For the South Island, we are going to keep an eye on this first lot of rain clearing away. Dry for a time, so like to say Nelson and Marlborough. This next lot of rain feeds up from the south, and some of that will be quite heavy, particularly through parts of the Canterbury Plains area. But we have got a bit of a break between these two systems. On that western coast, showers clearing away. We should find some brighter weather as we head through the afternoon. But you can see this rain continues to advance northwards as we head in towards the afternoon, accompanied by those really strong, gusty, southerly winds, particularly for those exposed coastal parts, particularly up towards, like I say, Banks of Lincolnshire, a really unsettled story there. Keep an eye on those severe weather watches and warnings as we head through the daytime. Top temperatures are 20 degrees Celsius, but a real change in those temperatures once those winds turn around from those northerlies to a cooler, colder southerly through the afternoon, and that wind making it feel colder still. As we head down towards the southern parts of the country, it's a wet start. We have got those severe weather warnings which last through towards the early part of the morning for parts of, say, Southern, Clutha and Dunedin as well. Like I say, 60 to 90 millimetres of rainfall, a fairly intense burst of rain. As we go through in towards the afternoon, we'll find that rain continues to pull away. Notice these red arrows. These are the strongest winds, gales around the coast. So a really windy story around those coastal parts of Southland, up in towards Clutha and even up in towards the Otago coastline as well. We should find, though, the rain pulls away. We'll keep hold of these strong southerlies as we go through the daytime. And again, that's going to make it feel colder too. Top temperatures 16 degrees Celsius in Dunedin, 13 in likes of, say, Invercargill. Very different to what we've been seeing over the last few days. And our nighttime temperatures back down quite widely into single figures. 3 degrees Celsius there for the likes of, say, Queenstown. A really chilly night as we head through in towards Wednesday. So speaking of Wednesday, here's how things evolve. This low pressure continues to pull away. Those stronger winds around the coast will ease as we head through the daytime, and we should generally find things are getting much better and brighter as we head through the afternoon. You can see high pressure over the Tasman Sea. That builds across us as we head through Wednesday, so it should settle things down a touch. But I think we are still going to find it's very windy, particularly around those eastern parts of the country to start with. And those easterly winds, or those southerly winds, around those eastern coasts will drive a fair bit of swell up around our coastal parts as well, particularly around the coast, the east and west coast. So do keep a close eye on those if you're heading out towards the coastal parts of the country. But we are going to find things to settle down for the second half of the week. But until we get there, we've got those heavy rain warnings, we've got those strong wind warnings, and we have still got some thunderstorms in the mix as well. So please head along to the Met Service website for all the latest information on those watch warnings and forecasts, as well as you can find all of that at metservice.com.